Hi, my name is Mark Nemus with KontentLabs. Thank you to Civvic Labs and Worksafe for the opportunity to apply for the next round innovation challenge. And what we're here today to talk to you about is the ability for you to harness the Community Labs engine to augment your current safety knowledge transfer, as well as provide some active insights into the capability gaps. Starting, we think, probably with your frontline assessors, and then moving into the communities that those assessors actually refer with. So I'd like to take you through a couple of very short ways of how we think that can basically happen. So there we go. We're an ed tech company focused on the frontline learning within organizations, their associations, and their community regulators. We do this through an online community of practice software engine to deliver two-way content interaction and analytics. I'm sure you'll remember your first interface with probably online learning was sort of a top-down, sort of a compliancy big stick approach, and that's still 80% of the market. However, over 80% of the market in Australia from a learning perspective is actually informal learning. So if you think back to where you yourself learn, it's usually in an informal environment. How do you make sense of that in a very formal structure? With Worksafe, we look to support both your assessors and your frontline customers with their frontline knowledge and experiences, and doing that at scale in a systematic and repeatable way. So we also fundamentally believe, and we deal with organizations that are the industry experts in their own sake, but we are effectively an engine that pulls that expertise together. So we commonly deal with training colleges, organizational knowledge, individual subject matter experts, panel or industry bodies, government departments, and pull that content together and make that available to end learners or end users within 3 seconds or 3 clicks or less. So that's our aim. And how do you do that in a formal and informal world, basically at scale? And with WorkCover and WorkSafe, sorry, what we do see is how do you then do that for your wider community? So it's one thing to do your assessors, but then it's the next step as for your business or your customers. How do you basically extend that environment to them? So what does this look like? So we've done quite a bit of work in the health and care sector in the past. And with innovation, we've tracked basically the innovation and knowledge that's happening at the front line in the care sector. And we're beginning to get a reputation for dealing with organizations that are sort of hands-on, where the PC or computer is not normally part of their job, or their mobile and tablets are maybe not allowed on the job, or they're basically on the side. We've also now started to do some significant work in civil construction and agri-businesses, where especially around safety and how do you make sort of frontline resources available to facilitators and trainers, and specifically around their industry experts. How do you make that work actually at scale? So what does it kind of look like? Here's, we do it like contextual search and resources. You actually have the content itself. You actually then have discussion forums. So one of the key figures here is around engagement at the front line is the use of discussion forums. And all of these are private. None of this is public. These are all in private environments that we pull together for you. And one of the quite unique attributes of our organization is the use of voice. So we're one of the only organizations that makes voice and voice analytics searchable and deployable via the front line. And what would all this be without the analytics and insight for it? So traditional learning in this environment tracks what someone has done and what someone hasn't done. What we're really interested in is identifying those gaps and then augmenting them quickly and giving that data back to you around your formal programs, what they're saying around those programs, what the insight is, so that you can actually then effectively train to the gap, not just have that lag indicator. So our model is pretty simple. We deliver a Community Labs engine, customize it to the data sets that you've got internally, and then work with you on your content that's going to best bring that to light. And then we basically make sure that we take that out to the markets that's most appropriate for yourself. So with this particular model, we believe that the initial market is obviously the 2.8 million sort of workers sort of expanding, but the dozens of niche we'd like to begin with is probably, as you articulated, is the agri-businesses in the construction and health sector. So we particularly have very strong linkages into the health sector around occupational violence, end-of-life training and those sort of things in that area. So our biggest challenge we find at the moment in working with people is making sure that we can interface with your existing systems and augment what you have rather than adding another system on top of the layer. So our team itself, led with Professor Stephen Boyages, Mark Nemus, and our other co-founders, Jim Fordham, are basically here and would love the opportunity to work with you on your unique set of challenges. And we firmly believe success by accident is unlikely to be repeated. So how do we make these things work at scales? How do we take the formal knowledge from top down and the informal knowledge from the bottom up and make that work in an organization like yourself, especially around workplace health and safety? So on behalf of Content Labs, we wish to really put forward our application for this and look forward to exploring the opportunity further with you.